For over a century, critics have aimed one ancient artifact at the credibility of the Bible, a massive black stone, nearly 300 laws carved into polished diorite, unearthed in 1901 from the ruins of ancient Babylon, the Code of Hammurabi, and the charge has been repeated ever since. Moses didn't receive law at Sinai. He copied it from Babylon. At first glance, the similarities sound hard to argue with. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. But here's what a century of that argument has consistently missed. Similar wording is not the same thing as similar foundations. And once you move beneath the surface of these two systems, the differences don't just exist. They're irreconcilable. This is the Babylon Dossier. And today, we're putting both legal codes on the table. In December 1901, a French archaeological team excavating at Susa uncovered something that immediately changed the conversation about the Bible. A diorite stele, nearly 8 feet tall, carved with 282 laws. At the top, an image, King Hammurabi, standing before Shamash, the Babylonian god of justice, receiving authority to rule. The scholarly world reacted immediately. Babylon had written law before Moses. Therefore, the argument went, Moses borrowed from Babylon. And for a time, that explanation felt airtight. Both systems contain legal rulings. Both regulate society. Both include similar phrasing. But the investigation doesn't stop at surface similarities. It asks a deeper question. What is each system actually built on? Hammurabi's code was not built on equality. It was built on hierarchy. Babylonian society operated in strict tiers: nobles, commoners, slaves, and justice shifted depending on which tier you occupied. Injure a nobleman, severe punishment. Injure someone of lower status. Financial compensation was often sufficient. Human value was not fixed. It was assigned by the empire. The law existed primarily to preserve order within the existing power structure. And at the top of that structure stood the king, not beneath the law, but above it. This is the same pattern we've been tracing through this entire dossier. In every centralized system, Nimrod's empire, the ziggurat at the Tower of Babel. Power flows downward from the ruler. Justice bends around whoever holds authority. Hammurabi's code wasn't an exception to that pattern. It was its legal expression. Now contrast that with what happened at Mount Sinai. Fire on the mountain, thunder rolling across the desert, an entire nation gathered below. Yes, the Torah contains eye-for-eye language, but the purpose was categorically different. Not revenge, not class protection. Proportional justice, a hard ceiling against escalating retaliation. But the deeper difference isn't in the phrasing. It's in the foundation beneath the phrasing. In the biblical worldview, human beings are not valuable because of social status. They are valuable because they bear the image of God. That single idea restructures everything that follows. In Babylon, the king stood above the law. At Sinai, even the king stood beneath it. And something else separated Sinai from every ancient legal code before it. The law wasn't handed down to a ruler claiming divine approval. It was given to an entire people, standing together before the mountain. That had no parallel in the ancient world. The contrast sharpens further when you look at what each system ultimately protected. In Hammurabi's code, certain property crimes carried the death penalty. Meanwhile, harming someone of lower social status could often be resolved financially. Life could be assigned a price. In the Torah, the priorities reverse completely. Human life is sacred, not because of status, but because of origin. Property matters. But property never outranks people. And then comes something Babylon never attempted. You shall not covet. Babylon regulated behavior. Sinai reached into motive itself. Babylon could punish you for stealing an ox. Sinai addressed the greed forming inside the human heart before a single law was broken. One system managed an empire. The other aimed to shape an entire people from the inside out. The full evidence on both legal codes, the archaeological record, the source documents, the comparative analysis that doesn't fit inside a single video is compiled in the Exodus to Conquest Master Dossier, available through the link in the description. If you're the kind of person who needs to see the primary sources for yourself, that's where they are. Now the full picture of what we've been building across this dossier comes into focus. Nimrod, centralized civilization, power fused into one ruler. Religion fused with empire. The ziggurat as the nerve center of everything. Hammurabi, centralized legal authority, justice filtered through hierarchy. Each one is a variation on the same architecture. Power flows down from the top. Human worth is assigned by the system, and the law exists to protect the order that keeps the powerful in place. Sinai moves in the exact opposite direction. Morality doesn't flow downward from a king on a throne. The covenant places moral accountability onto the people themselves. Every person, regardless of status, stands equally beneath something higher than any empire. That wasn't normal in the ancient world. That was a direct challenge to every system we've traced in this dossier. So, did Moses copy Babylon? Similarities exist as they do across many ancient Near Eastern legal traditions. But similarities in wording do not erase differences in foundation. One system protected hierarchy, the other restrained it. One assigned human worth according to status. The other grounded it in the image of God. One reached only as far as behavior. The other reached into the human heart. And here is what that difference reveals. Laws don't just punish behavior, they expose what a civilization worships. Babylon's law protected the empire and the king at its center. Sinai's law protected the person, every person, because every person bore the image of the one who gave the law. That's not a borrowed idea. That's a completely different world. Two legal systems, separated by desert and centuries. Similar on the surface, irreconcilable underneath. And maybe that's the question worth sitting with. Not whether the ancient codes share similar wording, but what each one reveals about what it believed a human being was worth. Because that question isn't only ancient. Every legal system ever written has had to answer it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. And in the next file of the Babylon dossier, we're moving from ancient law to ancient prophecy. Because Babylon didn't just shape the beginning of civilization. According to the Bible, its shadow never fully disappeared. The next file is already being prepared.